We've had an offer accepted on a house that we went to see.
We're Stephen and Mags, and together with our 3 kids, Louis, Neve and Oliver, we're starting out on the biggest adventure of our lives, swapping city life for an off-grid homestead. After years of dreaming about making a change, we sold our house in the UK, packed up all our belongings and made the 1,500-mile trip to southern Spain, with the hopes of creating the dream family home and a new life in the sun. Follow our story from the very beginning as we begin the journey of creating our off-grid home.
Good morning. So it's been a while since we picked up the camera to film in it, but we've got some news to share. We're off today for an appointment in a place called Mahaka. It's about an hour, a bit more from where we are now, because we've had an offer accepted on a house that we went to see. We couldn't film the property when we went to see it because the owners didn't want us to film while they were there, didn't want to be on camera, which is understandable, so we didn't. But I'll try and put some pictures in of the house that we've put an offer in here so you can see it. The house itself has got 30,000 square metres, so 3 hectares. I think it's about 7.5 acres roughly. That's all the measurements that I know of land. It's got 2 wells, 2 legalised wells on it, and it's also got water rights to a communal well, so there should be plenty of water available for us for homestead and not having to rely on mains water, which is unreliable in some parts of the Campo in Spain. One thing that means is that we're going to be leaving the rental house where we're in now, and to be honest, I think after being here 6 months we are ready to leave the house. The house is great from the outside, it looks nice, the land is nice around it, and the views are lovely. But we've found there's loads of little niggly things wrong with the house that actually, if it was ours, we'd do something about and we get them sorted to make it more comfortable. But it just means going back and forth to the estate agent all the time to try and get things sorted. The landlord's not local, he lives in a different country, so we have to wait a long time for responses to get back and forth. The estate agents have been good, I will say that, in helping us out and trying to get things sorted, but it's just really frustrating when it's not your own and you can't just fix it or just, you know, get someone in to sort out for you. So it means we're leaving here and hopefully we'll have our own place soon. One of the things we found with the... oh, that was a wasp. One of the things we found with the house purchase is that we put an offer in. We wondered whether or not it would be accepted because we put a lower offer in than what was up for. They came back and asked for us to raise it by another 5,000, and that took us up to where we really wanted to be in terms of putting an offer in with them. However, what we didn't expect was that the minute we said yes to that, the estate agent was straight on with sending us a contract outlining dates for when we need to pay deposits. And I think I've said this in a previous visit. You pay 3,000, sometimes it can be up to 6,000, 3,000 for a reserve so that it comes off the market. Once you've done your checks, you pay your 10% of the balance, and then when you come to completion, you pay the outstanding amount. The dates she sent us through are within like 2 or 3 weeks of each other, so it would mean that we will complete within a month. I'm getting murdered by flies, but that we complete within a month, which is completely different to England. So, which is why we're going to see a qualified, legal, registered solicitor today, an abogado, who hopefully will be able to talk us through the process, make sure that we are, you know, protected legally in terms of everything is legal with the property, and that we're able to buy it and move in, and it will belong to us. There'll be no issues with it. Because you do hear lots of stories from expats who've bought in Spain, who then find out that the property wasn't legalised, or that there's a particular building or part of the house that's been extended that planning permission hadn't been applied for. So hopefully that's what the solicitor will help us sort out today. It's about an hour from us, so we're going to get going and make our way down to Mahaka. Hopefully, if everything goes smoothly, hopefully we'll have a new house.
bit more nervous, I think, just to see what she'll say and when she looks through the paperwork. And I think because we found somewhere now, you just want it to be right. So hopefully, fingers crossed, when we get here,
You're alright.
it'll be okay.
You excited, Navy?
Yeah.
Yeah, excited to have a new house? Yeah? Okay. We're there.
Solicitors, and it was probably the quickest appointment we've ever had, but she seemed to know her stuff and she was able to give us a lot of advice and things to look out for.
So she told us that if you buy a property in Spain, there are three main things that you should be really wary of. Number one, don't sign any contracts with an estate agent until you've had them checked by a solicitor. Number two, don't pay any deposits to solicitors or vendors before you've had your contract checked by a solicitor.
And they're both things that we've come up against, isn't it? Since we've spoke to the estate agent,
yeah.
They've asked us to do both those things before we spoke to our solicitor.
So she said it was lucky that we hadn't signed anything, we hadn't handed any money over yet, because once you do that, you then become legally responsible to follow through on whatever the contract states. And the contract we've just had gives us less than 4 weeks to complete and pay all the money, and we haven't had any searches done yet. Which brings us on to the third thing she said, is that make sure that you get all your searches done by a solicitor, by someone who's qualified to do so with the land registry. Make sure that people have the authority to sell the property, and that all the properties are listed on the cadastral, which is the land registry here. Check that all the outstanding debts have been paid on the property, and that any taxes that were due have already been settled. So she's going to do all that for us, which is great. Just an idea, you have to pay, after paying your purchase price on the property, you have to pay 7% tax for transfer tax, so that it gets put in your name. And then you also have to pay the notary fee, which is about 1,000 to 1,400, and that goes with land registry too. And then you also have to pay for your solicitor's fee, and the solicitor's fee she's just quoted us today was €1,500 including taxes.
Which is really reasonable, weren't
yeah, it was really, she's a nice woman, isn't she?
She is, yeah.
She's a really nice woman, so she explained all what we need to do. I feel much better. I mean, she said, we told her about the estate agent and the fact that we've been asked for this money and been asked to sign the forms. So I phone her now, and she gets on the phone, like, it was just...
It's completely different than back in England, where it's like, oh, we'll get in touch, we'll let you know. You know, she was like, I'll just do it now.
Yeah, it was it. Oh yeah, I'll phone her now, I'll sort it out for you. So she's on the case anyway. She told us not to worry, and that we should hear from her soon. We left her with a list of questions that we wanted to know about the property, and questions we had about what was included, not included. So she's going to sort all that out.
Yeah.
So
which only leaves us to now to enjoy the day at the beach, really, because that's where
we're across the road from the beach in Mahaka. We're going to go and spend a little bit of time, let the kids have a little paddle in the water, and then poor Diego, the dog. I had Spanish lesson this morning, and Mags took him to another town close to where we're staying to have his manhole chopped off. He's being castrated. So the poor little thing's probably picked up. We'll probably be there at 5:30 to go and collect them. And I'm sure you'll have plenty of loves and kisses, won't you, to make them feel better. But you'll spoil them anyway, won't you?
So we're going to have a bit of fun now with the kids, and then we're going to head off back.
Yeah.
To pick them
So
up
start walking around the beach. We'll go and pick Diego up. No doubt he'll have a cone or something when we go and get him. we've had a really productive day. We've been and sorted out the solicitor. Hopefully things will move along with the house and we'll have some news soon. Diego's doing okay. The vet said he's been a really good boy, but he's left 2 eggs. So we're going to go home, give him some love. And the kids have been out, we've been to the beach, we've been to the park. So it's time to go home, just relax, give some Diego some love. We'll see you on the next one. Don't forget, like and subscribe or share the video if you can, it really helps. See you soon.